Hi, welcome to hey, and welcome back to the I Help Men Dress Better podcast, where I help men dress so that they like the way that they look and find the confidence that comes with that. I'm not so clear on the topic today. I honestly, I had a bit of an interesting month. I don't think I've posted a podcast in a while, and this is more of getting back on the train, recording simply for the purpose of getting back on the train, which is actually a really important skill that I learned from actually not style, but fitness. And that is the idea of consistency adding up over time. And I think something that I've learned regarding consistency is that it's always most important to get back on the wagon. And now that I've started talking and I've gotten back on the wagon and I'm here in front of the camera with my microphone ready, recording the podcast, a topic has come to me. And it's I don't know, it's just like a testament to the power of that consistency. I think when before I before I was really in self-improvement, I definitely had a much more perfectionist mindset. And I think layer on top of that a lot of undiagnosed ADHD, and consistency was very, very strict and therefore pretty much unattainable. I think I started working out a number of times, um, and I was pretty serious for a while. Not that I was necessarily doing it right, but I was serious and I was consistent and I was committed to getting the outcomes that I wanted. But what I think I didn't know is how to how to view an endeavor where you can fall off the wagon and get right back on as soon as you can. I think I was much more in the place of, oh, I fell off the wagon, better beat myself up, call myself a loser, and let it all fall apart. I actually found fitness through after style and kind of through style. I had spent like 3 years in Israel and I walked everywhere. And before that, I never really played sports. I've never been very athletic. I honestly wasn't very coordinated or body aware at all. And I went to Israel and I had to walk everywhere for like 3 years. And I was in the best shape of my life up until that point. Not that I was in like great shape, but I was definitely in the best shape that I'd been pretty much my entire life. I was pretty sedentary for a lot of my life. And um, I also was working on my style a lot at that point. I had a lot, like every year, I would kind of buy a new wardrobe for the next year based on what I had learned over the course of the year and come back with kind of new clothes that would hopefully be closer to what I was aiming at. And I I came back from Israel, so I had lost a good amount of weight, and I came back from Israel and I was wearing the clothes that I was excited to wear. At that point, it was slim fit. Now I cringe, but I was very excited to have to fit in and be able to wear the very slim fit clothing that I had been trying to find and fit in for the last few years. And being back in America, I was not walking everywhere and I started to gain weight pretty quickly. And all of that new clothing that I was so excited about stopped fitting me. And thankfully, I had a friend at the time and he introduced me to intermittent fasting. So I started there. Well, actually, first I worked out with another friend, and that was a little bit too intense for me. It was not a good introduction. And so I burned out really quickly. Um, I did keep a few things Like I quit drinking calories, and that really helped me. Actually stopped drinking anything except for water and seltzer for a while. And then I reintegrated coffee and diet soda later. But so I kept that from that first guy. But it wasn't until this other friend introduced me to intermittent fasting, and I did that, and I lost 40 pounds. Um, and then from there, I didn't, I didn't, I couldn't lose the last bit of weight. And so he introduced me to kind of how to work out, how all of that works. And I started to consistently work out. And I was hardcore. But something that I learned from working out and dieting is that consistency doesn't mean you never miss a day. It means you keep getting back on the wagon. And one of the reasons that we don't get back on the wagon is because we over moralize things. So if I'm doing really well and I fall off the wagon and then I beat myself up, then not only have I fallen off the wagon, but now I need to cope with all of the abuse that I've laid upon myself. And that gets in the way of getting back on the wagon versus having more of a relaxed mindset of, it's okay, it's one day, I'll get back on tomorrow. And you can limit the amount of time that you spend in those kind of missing the mark places when you're a little bit more relaxed with your, on off switch. And I've definitely had times when the off switch has been longer, I think, than I've wanted to. COVID definitely knocked me knocked me over on my fitness. But I think because I never held it so tightly, because I was able to always hold it so loosely, it's like getting back on the wagon has never been a question. It's just a question of when. It's not a question of if. So yeah, I mean, here I am. I haven't recorded a podcast in like a month, and I literally just sat down to record this. And speaking about why, I feel this way in my business too. Sometimes there's a lull. Before this month, I had a bit of a rough week and crashed out pretty bad. And then I had a chill week to recover from that. And I went from there straight into my family vacation. So I didn't even get to take that chill week and bring it back into, getting ramped back up with the business. I kind of just continued to descend. So after all of that, I'm I'm in the process of reascending. And so I think it's very apropos. I mean, I'm piecing together all of my habits. And I think in the past, I've had a lot of situations like this. And I think in the past, I've allowed myself to be extremely distraught by how long it takes me to get back into my patterns, my positive habits. Because a lot of times when, something comes in and changes, changes one thing, sometimes all my habits will fall apart together because they're sort of like a system, and then I have to build them back out. But sometimes once they click, they come back online more easily once things start moving. Um, but yeah, I think this time around, I don't feel like I'm holding them as tightly, and I'm not so nervous about when they're going to come back online, and I don't feel as daunted or held back from getting them back online. I'm kind of like naturally allowing that process to happen. So hopefully, recording this very rambly podcast is a good first step in that direction. And hopefully, I've said something coherent and cohesive enough that you can take something from this podcast and apply it to your own life. I think the main takeaways would be, it doesn't have to be perfect. This podcast is not perfect. I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I'm still going to upload it because I think that's also important. sitting down in front of the camera and recording this is very important to get the ball rolling, but so is uploading because uploading is also part of what I need to be doing. So I'm still going to upload this, which is why you're hearing it right now. Um, so yeah, just get back on the wagon. Don't wait for the perfect moment to get back on. That's I think also something that lets you get back on, not waiting for the perfect moment. Don't hold things too tight. Don't expect yourself to hop right back on without any resistance. And I think actually the less you expect that, the more easily it is because you're not dreading how cruel you're going to be to yourself because you've taught yourself that you can expect kindness from yourself when you make a mistake or, you know, drop a habit and you need to pick it back up. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say on this topic. I'm just glad that I sat down and recorded and I'm looking forward to going and uploading this and nobody watching it and nobody hearing it. uh, this has been the I Help Men Dress Better podcast. Um, if you've learned anything, if you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share, subscribe, click the bell, uh, whatever platform you're on. It would really be a big deal, helping this podcast grow and helping me know what you like and what you enjoy. If you did not like this episode, go check out one of my other episodes. They're a lot more put together. And definitely give me feedback in the comments. I love to hear your feedback. So looking forward to that. If you're interested in what else I do and how I work, check me out on LinkedIn. That's the hub. That's my hub, Shlomo Homnick. Um, it's like a reddish pink profile picture, and I think my banner's blue now. So check that out and connect with me. Shoot me a DM. Love to meet you and speak with you. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. I know there are all sorts of things you could be doing with your time, and I appreciate that you chose to spend it with me. So have a wonderful week.